Many of you who know me know I like to walk a lot. I love to go down different trails, different roads, and as I'm walking, this is my time when I'm spending with the Lord. I'm reflecting on His Word and the things He's done for me and looking at the beauty all around me as well because I love nature. And the other day I was walking, and one of the stories in Acts 9 that came to mind was that of Saul of Tarsus. We know him better as Paul. In this story, what he is doing is he's going down the road because Saul was studying to be a rabbi, and he was a very passionate man, and he wanted to stop the Christians, the people who were following Jesus. The way is what it was also called. And he felt like he was doing the right thing, and so he got papers from the government of that time, and he was going to round up the Christians, and he wanted to silence this movement because it was blasphemy. It was totally against the Jewish way. As he was going down this road to Damascus, he saw a bright light, and it blinded him. And it was the Lord who was actually stopping him and asking him, "Saul, what are you doing? Why are you persecuting me?" Can you imagine if it was you, how you would react? Well, he was blinded. For 3 days, he was blinded. And that evening, the Lord had Ananias, one of the followers. He was telling him that, Saul's going to be coming and I want you to pray for him. And Ananias, like probably something I would probably say as well, is, "Lord, I've heard about that person. Don't you know he's like this?" And it's kind of silly for us to ask God that because the Lord, our God, knows everything. So he's preparing for him to take care of Saul. Well, long story short, Saul does get there and he prays for him and he is able to see again. And from that time, he is learning, from that time forward, he's learning from the disciples and followers of Jesus about the ways of Jesus. He's learning the truth. And Saul, who is now Paul, he's giving himself a new name, the Gentile name Paul. He will be the most passionate person. He wrote many of the books of the New Testament that we all learn from today. I love reading his different books of the Bible and how he's learning and how he's passionate. It's great. And what I'm reminded of in this story is that we serve a God that knows all things, but also has a way of getting our attention. Now, maybe your situation, my situation, isn't a shining light that blinds us for 3 days. In my life, it was a totally different situation. I had a rough time going on in my life, and I was focusing on myself, and I wanted others to feel sorry for me, but it was a time when God was getting Joy's attention, and I'm so glad He did. You see, I had a choice whether to go my own way or to listen to God's way. And I'm so grateful I chose His way. And maybe for you, you've gone through situations in your life and you've wondered, will those things ever change? Maybe there's people in your life that are not treating you well. Maybe there's people in your life who are causing a lot of discord. Maybe there's people that you've prayed for so long and they have not changed yet. Well, don't give up, because we serve a God of the impossible. When people come to me and they say that they've been praying so long for people, and I keep reminding them or telling them or saying to them, pray that God has the same type of experience as with Paul, meaning a Damascus Road experience, meaning a time when we're stopped or they're stopped where they are to focus and have a choice to choose their way or to choose God's way. And of course, we hope they choose God's way. So don't think that God doesn't know and understand. He does. He's there for us. He needed Paul to see the truth, just like all of us, that we're to see the truth and not get stuck in what we think in our mind is correct, because we know God's ways the best way. He is the God of the impossible. Who would have thought once again that Paul would have been blinded to get his attention? I'm grateful that God loves us. He's there for us. So if you're in a situation in your life where you just don't think things are going to change, people won't change, keep praying. It does. I know for my mother, we prayed for many years for her to be saved. And at the age of 65, she finally gave her life to the Lord. I'll never forget it because she called me that night and told me those many, many years of praying, and it occurred. And it was such a beautiful relationship I had with my mother for the remaining years of her life. So don't give up. Know that God knows. He's there for you. And just keep believing, keep praying, and keep giving things to God, because that is when you will see and experience such joy and peace in your life. Be blessed, everyone. Choose God's way. It is the best way.